Visordown. This is the new 1290 Super Adventure, and KTM is hailing it as the perfect combination of travel enduro and luxury sports tourer. It uses that enormous 1.3 litre V-twin engine from KTM's lunatic 1290 Super G car, but has a new crankshaft, new cylinder heads and revised mapping to bring power down from 180 horsepower to 160. It's also got all the toys, so you get semi-active electronic suspension, cornering ABS, traction control, cruise control, heated grips and heated seats. It's like an extremely safe missile with a furnace attached to it. The Super Adventure has presence too, so those sharp angular lines at the front give the bike a really assertive stance and an immediate impression of touring potential. I think every part of it begs you to sell your house, give up the kids and go and search for the meaning of life on a round the world trip or something like that. I have to admit, I felt somewhat unsettled before riding the 1290 because the 1190 to me really is a perfect combination of travel enduro and sports tourer. It does everything, and I think it does it well. So I sort of feared the 1290 would be a compromise too far, perhaps a bit too heavy, a bit too touring focused, and not quite enough KTM ready to race. Well, it might not be as orange as I'd have liked, but the Super Adventure is still very much a KTM. Despite that 249 kilo wet weight, the 1290 is really light on its feet and has the most impressive suspension setup I've tested on a bike of its kind. So the electronic damping system soaks up even the largest road imperfections without numbing feedback from the tyres. So where some systems feel lazy and lag a couple of seconds behind, I think this one feels really seamless and preemptive. Now, the 1290 shares exactly the same frame and swing arm as the 1190 Adventure, so it feels perfectly at home on a twisty road. The Super Adventure's front end feels really planted through corners and at high speeds on the motorway too, which is a nice trait given that a lot of big adventure bikes tend to have wide bars, a narrow front tyre and geometry which doesn't always lend itself to front end stability. Same as in the Super G car, the smooth engine is really meaty with a lot of top end punch. However, because you have slightly shorter gear ratios than the Duke, power is never overwhelming, and on dry roads there's generally very little intervention from the traction control system, even when you're in the Super Adventure's most intrusive riding mode. The 1290 also has a sport riding mode where the traction control system allows a bit of a slide before it really kicks in. There's also a rain and off-road mode. Both limit power to 100 horsepower, but the latter allows you to spin up the rear for a bit of controlled or uncontrolled power sliding on loose ground. If you want to pop a wheelie, something that the 1290 is most certainly capable of, you simply turn off the system entirely. Concerning the brakes, there's not a particularly strong initial bite, not like some of the old monoblock setups you find on sports bikes from several years ago, but you get progressive power that's predictable and works in conjunction with the combined ABS system and the anti-dive technology, which firms up the front end when you give the brakes a handful. The gearbox is really smooth. I didn't miss a gear all day, but I couldn't help think that KTM might have missed a trick by not fitting a quick shifter. In keeping with KTM's luxury sports tourer claim, the Super Adventure has some really innovative features that enhance its globe-trotting credentials. So it has clever 3-stage LED cornering lights tucked into the fairing, which light up in sequence as the lean angle increases. There's an adjustable screen, an integrated 12-volt socket, a tyre pressure monitoring system, self-cancelling indicators, spoke wheels, pannier mounts, engine crash bars and a centre stand. You also get heated grips, which didn't get quite as hot as I'd hoped for, and a heated seat that will thaw any frozen bum cheek in a matter of minutes. I suspect female passengers will enjoy the combination of that heated rear seat and the pulse of the big V-twin. Did I just say that? Can I say that? An adventure bike is nothing without a good range, and the 1290 Super gets a completely new continent crossing 30 litre capacity, 7 litres more than the 1190, giving it a claimed range of over 300 miles. After 130 miles, my test bike showed it gone through just over half a tank, so fuel capacity is definitely not an issue. Perhaps the Super Adventure's biggest weakness is its chain drive. I have no doubt it offers a more engaging and sporty ride, but a part of me thinks it's likely to put off a number of customers deciding between the KTM and the GS Adventure, and I sort of want them to buy the KTM. I think they should buy the KTM. In fact, I have no doubt the 1290 is a far more capable and accomplished machine than the BMW R1200 GS Adventure.